No
man.
respect. Yes, sir.
Represent, because one thing, church, that one people don't understand about our city, bro, and we know this for a fact, being long life Clevelanders, and you even had a brand, I am Cleveland, you know what I'm saying,
Yes,
which I represented very, very high and very, very well because of, first off, it's dope. Number two, we really felt like we the city, we represent
sir.
this city for real, for real, for real.
Yeah.
But we watched this city go through a whole lot of sports changes. You play football, bro. Like
Yes.
growing up, how does the sport scene kind of affect, your growth in your growing up in your neighborhood, even if it was because, talk to me about sports, about East High, which is no longer a high school in Cleveland.
No longer.
Talk to us about our neighborhood we grew up in, because we grew up not too far from each other in that neighborhood, and we know a lot of the same people,
Yes, sir.
uh, even though you're younger than me. But
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead and talk to us, bro.
Okay, so coming out of our neighborhood,
Where's that neighborhood at?
well, I grew up on 71st and St. Clair, but anywhere between 70th all the way to 79th is what we would call seven all, right?
Mm-hmm.
I witnessed the
Excuse me.
inception. Yes, sir. I witnessed the inception of seven all. I watched it like literally grow from like three people to like a real live gang. Uh, Not promoting it to be, a good way of life, but I watched it happen. So for me, sports, even though I just only played street ball and then I played like 1 year of high school ball, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that the way that the Most High saw, like I needed that at that time to keep me
Mm-hmm.
away from just even being in the mix, because I've never really been like a super big follower. Like, I just kind of like get the intel and then go about my way and do things my way. But I was still like right there. And you know how easy it is to be caught up just being around. So I think that sports played at least that senior year of high school played a very big part in me being able to think for myself today and just go my own, always run my own route. You know,
Right, right.
some of the disciplines that I picked up just from that 1 year of sports, I still carry with me till this day. I still carry some of those disciplines with me to this day. Just even if it's just something as simple as stretching, you know what I mean? Like I learned how to stretch uh from playing football. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And so simultaneously with you learning, connecting with a group of people and forming a team, forming a bond, there it was collectively another, like, a big group of people forming, collectively doing their thing in that area. Precursor to them is 79 boys. That's the people I grew up with. Those are the people
okay,
I saw who were doing their thing, and so to see that morph into that from 70th all the way to 79th, and then to see that fallout in our city because of some other factions that was forming doing their thing.
yes
And
sir,
Cleveland was really in a very negative space. And how did you navigate that? Because when I met you in a program, right?
yeah,
I
yeah,
met you in the program. I had just came back from playing overseas, and I'm like, okay, I'm thinking about what I'm about to do next. I got a trial coming up soon. I'm pretty excited about that. But in the meantime, I really love my city. I'm trying to find out a way how I can, have impact. You saw what I created at this particular place to continue to impact, even though I didn't even reach my dream. That was just kind of crazy.
mm-hmm.
But um, but it gave people opportunity to reach their dream. When I
Yes,
met you, you were in the cusp of making a decision of which way you're gonna go. You're gonna go this way. You had
mm-hmm.
influence your brothers. You had influence your nephews. You
Mm-hmm.
got a dynamic that's kind of different. You were the youngest of your siblings, so you had their children looking at you like a brother, a big brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yes
And you
sir,
really could have had an opportunity to have them boys acting up,
yes
but
sir.
you chose a different path. Talk to me about what made you say, "Hey, man, even though I could go this way, and we know what your crazy self, what some of that thoughts you be having, but what made you choose that other way?"
Man, if I would have to say, in all honesty, it was the fear of the fear of the repercussions behind any of those actions that I took. I always knew that jail wasn't something that I wanted. Uh,
Come on, come on. That's an easy deterrent, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, jail is a horrible place, but I feel, especially being a father and a husband, I feel like that jail is like one of those things that for a good reason you go ahead and do what you have to do, especially when
Right,
it comes to protecting, your family, especially the family you created. But
right.
jail was a very big deterrent. I have an older brother that is 5 years older than me, and he's done enough jail time for you, me, and him. He's still he's still incarcerated right now on a mandatory 11-year stint, and
Wow,
yeah, he's just about home off of that one. But that mean he's walked down at least like 8 to 9 years of that one, and
for
that was
sure.
his second 10+ year jail sentence. So uh,
Wow.
it was jail, and I'm horrified of being shot. Like I think
Yeah.
that's like one of the worst things. I think that's one of the worst things that can happen to you. So that helped me stay out of those guys' way.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Deterrent number two. Good deterrent
yeah,
number two.
yeah. And then just like one of the like I think the absolute biggest thing is just like my love for gaining more, learning more, seeing more. I've always wanted to travel. I've
Yep.
always wanted to be an affluent person and just see different things. So like if I had to say those three things would be like the catalyst that kept me away from a lot of that street stuff, man. And then like
Yeah.
my heart, like I'm kind of soft hearted to people. I have my times where it's just kind of like I'm gonna stand on business, but it's like uh I didn't have the heart to do some of the stuff that was going on in the neighborhood with the dope selling and the
Yeah.
robberies and you know what I'm saying? It's like my
Yeah.
heart was
Yeah. Yeah.
always like, yeah, I can't do that to people. So
Right. Yeah. And I feel the same way. Like I do what I need to do
yes,
in times I needed to do it,
yes,
but
sir.
I never intentionally wanted to harm anybody. Like my
Yep,
heart was always like, man, I'd rather protect somebody. I'd rather, hey man, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? With
yeah,
the woo. I'd rather we be having a good time, chilling, learning something. You know me and knowledge and my desire to know more,
yep,
and to know it from a deeper level.
yeah,
But and even understand the complexities of why we react and act the way we act in the context we come from. Like,
yes, sir.
why do we act the way we act where we're from, as opposed to why they do what they do where they from? You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir. Yes,
And
sir.
so, but to see you navigate that, right? Come out of
Yes,
there
sir.
with very few scrapes, and but you had some scrapes.
Yeah,
Let's
we
keep it
all do.
real.
We all
Let's
do.
keep it real. We had some scrapes. Talk to me a little bit about one of those times where you felt like, hey man, it's either if this go well, uh, it's gonna crack it. But if it don't and it goes bad, I'm gonna have to make a decision about what I'm gonna do in my life. Think about it. Tell us time and how did you get out of that? What was the things that you had around you that in your lowest moment helped you get through it?
Man, I think being optimistic is what helped me get through like my lowest points. It was just always like uh learning from football, just to take it back to football, just sticking with it
Hmm.
until you see what happens with it. So it's just kind of like push through. So like I can't I won't lie and say that I've always had the mindset that I have now, where it's like, okay, stick
Right.
to it, stick to it. You just it was like, man, what else do I have? You know what I'm saying? Like even for barbering, right? So I can remember times when I would struggle with doing a ball fade, like early on in my career. Like I actually hated ball fades. I didn't want to do them, but it was just kind of like you gotta stick with this stuff because I didn't have any other skill set outside of going to go get a job. So it was
Hmm.
like, it's just always been kind of like a one shot type of thing for me. It's like either this work or I'm back to the drawing board. You know what I'm saying? So I
Right.
think that's what kept me pushing through in a lot of situations. It's just that I would always only have one avenue. Like I
Mm.
didn't have a plan B, C, D, and E. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm.
learned how to work those things as I got older and,
Right.
and, and and set up different plans. But like early on, it was just like all or nothing.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
I can honestly say that was it for me.
So for you, speaking of, barbering and deciding that you didn't want to be a 9 to 5 or that you're going to work for yourself or you're going to bet on yourself, you've been able to grow your barber creative side into other businesses.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about the brand that you got on your head, and on your chest, sir. That's pretty fire. Please talk
Thank
to
you.
me about it. I was gonna wear it today, which is just how am I not wearing your stuff? But I had to represent. Next
It's
time I
all
got you, bro. I
it's
can't
all
believe I did
good.
that. I
It's
can't
all
believe I did
good.
that. We're
I
gonna have another
appreciate the
discussion.
support.
Yeah, real. Oh, man, come on. It's just unprofessional. I don't know what's wrong with me, bro. I'm trying to prepare us for the big leagues, and this is where you're supposed to be posting. Yeah, go ahead. So let's talk to us about it. Talk to us about the brand.
Okay, so Hawg Haulers is a motorcycle transportation slash hauling company, and
Mm,
also a motorcycle apparel brand that will after grow and compete with Harley Davidson. As far as the
mm-hmm,
apparel goes, now I don't know what else we have in store over here. We do a lot of things, but it's again a motorcycle transportation slash hauling and apparel company. Uh, Me and my guy, we founded it back in like 2000. I think the first time we ever said anything about it was like 2018, going
mm-hmm,
into 2019, and then like the beginning of COVID hit, and then we got on board and did all of the paperwork and turned it into a real company. So now
yeah,
we have skull caps, hoodies, t-shirts, ball caps, keychains, bandanas, sunglasses. Uh, I mean, we got stickers, we got patches, we got button pins. We have
man,
a lot of different things just to kind of like get our brand out there. And
yeah,
we've been making some traction, and we're looking forward to making some more traction in 2025. Uh,
okay,
but it's just it comes from our love of motorcycles, and we were actually taking some motorcycles down to an event down in South Carolina in Myrtle Beach. It's called Black
mm-hmm,
Bike Week for the people that don't know. We were
mm-hmm,
taking some motorcycles down there, and we just kind of like came up with the name while we were coming out of a rest stop that we had took a nap at. Uh, it just grew from there, man. It just grew from there.
So how you start riding, bro? What made you start like, I gotta get on 2 wheels and risk my life? I don't, you feel me?
Yeah.
I've been struggling and trying to figure out 'cause I want to get on them, and my wife rides, and I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God. She's like, yeah, I would love to get back on a bike, and I'm like, man, she had tore her knee up on a bike before,
Mm,
so I'm like, man, I want to trike, and you to have this brother's bike, y'all. So when I tell y'all, I wasn't even thinking about Harley's nothing. This dude, Trey,
mm. One of the one.
flavor, flavor, flavor.
One for
Talk
the
to us, man.
books.
How'd you end up on the bike, bro?
So a lot of where I am today started off as like a dream as a kid. So I've always wanted to ride bikes, but my dream as a kid was sport bikes.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Mm-hmm.
after I became very self-aware, I realized that I was too I'm one of those kind of people that if it's a limit to be pushed, I'm kind of going to push it.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think if I would have rode sport bikes, I probably wouldn't be here today. So
That's real
then I
spill.
then I transitioned into watching Sons of Anarchy. I started watching Sons of Anarchy, and it made me want a Harley.
We remember that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Homie Rosello was repping Sons of Anarchy
yeah,
hard,
yeah. It was a great
hard,
show. It was a
hard.
great
That's great,
show.
great show. So that's what got you like into the Hardy situation, hard,
Yeah,
like
because
Hardy in particular.
yeah. Because I was gonna go buy I think it was a Suzuki, and the guy was like, "Man, Harleys are like the Rolls Royce of motorcycles."
Right.
He said if you want to be a head turner when you pull up, man, you got to get a Harley. So then, after watching Sons of Anarchy and hearing that from him, uh, I just fell in love with him. You know what I mean? I felt like if I was gonna do it, then I wanted to do it with, quote unquote, the best brand. And
Right.
we'll all do respect. And I say quote unquote because everybody has their opinion. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean I'm not so hard up about Harleys. Uh, that it's like no nothing is better, but it's what I ride, is what I choose to indulge in, And yeah, once I started watching Sons of Anarchy, it just sent me over there, and I just haven't looked back. It's the only thing I've ever rode. My first bike was a Harley. Uh, my fourth and fifth bike are Harleys.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, yeah.
And it got so bad that he even named us.
Name my
Uh,
daughter Harley. Yeah.
let's keep it 100. So let's transition a little bit from the Harleys and the brand,
Okay.
because there's parts of you that people really, really don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe they don't, maybe they don't. They know you, they know this. But
Yes.
so talk to them, because we're talking about uh, men, African American men, black men in America in particular, that we don't really, care about our children.
Hmm.
And so, speak to me, man, about your marriage and about marriage and childbearing, rearing, raising children in 2024. Boy, it's a whole nother world. So
Hmm.
talk to me, bro.
Okay. So I'm uh I'm married 11 years. We've been together 14 years. My daughter is now just turned 8 years old in September. Uh
Wow.
yeah, and today I had to get my daughter together. You know, I had to do a little bit of checking. Her mom went to say something. I was downstairs and I heard just a little back and forth. You know, and I tend to stay out of their business because it's two females, a woman and her daughter. And that's
Right,
her
right.
mom, so she has the absolute right to check her as much as she wished to. But
Yeah.
today was one of those days I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and intervene because as loud as I am, my wife projects louder when she speaks. She's just a more louder person. If you overhear her talking, you're gonna think it's about to be a fight, and she'll be in a great conversation, but you think it's about to be a fight. But
Right.
today I decided you don't have to say anything. So she went. I heard her about to say something. I said, nope, don't say anything. I handle
Uh-huh.
this. So I went in the bathroom, and I had a conversation with Harley, but it was extremely stern, uh and just kind of got to understand that I don't want to hear your mother have to say anything to you again. Just do what she asked you to do. And with
Hmm.
that being said, just to answer the question, in today's time, I mean, we come from situations and humble backgrounds where it was like we had to go without, or it was things that we missed, or our parents just simply didn't have because of
What?
economics,
Right.
lack of education, inability to produce funds and stuff. So our children, this is what I feel about
Right.
the black men that I'm close to. Our children today are extremely privileged. So they tend to have more of a voice than we did. So they are able to express concerns or dislikes versus
Hmm.
the children of our time. So
Right.
a lot of the times I'll find myself in a discussion with my daughter of why she should do something versus just being like, "Oh, you should do this simply because I said it." And I appreciate her ability and to be free and be able to speak up because I advocate for that. My daughter will always be able to talk to me about anything, whether she likes
Right.
it, dislikes it, if it's something that I said or whatever, and we'll get an understanding. So in today's time, man, it's a little bit more difficult because you have to spend a lot of the time rearing your children, explaining to the child why you're rearing them for whatever they did. So,
Yeah.
it's a little more difficult, man. The children have more access to a lot more stuff. The world is a lot smaller. Things are more readily available and it's more regular, you know what I'm saying, to see
Yeah. Yeah.
certain
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
and it puts us all in a space where it's like it's a little more difficult to navigate. I mean, to be 100, man, just sexuality, or even though you shouldn't be teaching children sexuality, period. But just sexuality, gun violence, and derogatory statements and songs, and
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
uh,
So let me
uh,
ask you a question. So if and I know your daughter. She's a very intuitive, inquisitive young lady. She wants
yes,
to
sir,
know things. She asks questions about everything. She says
absolutely,
why? Even if you give her an answer, if she can process it, I've seen her do this. Can't
yes,
process it and make it make sense to herself. She gonna come back to you and say, "That don't make sense."
right,
And then you gonna be like, go sit down. Like I
right,
told you what I had to do. And so in a time where information is readily accessible and they have so many voices, how important it is to make sure that your voice is being the dominant figure in your daughter's life, because she has a very strong personality.
She
Your
does.
wife has a very strong personality.
She
You
does.
have a very strong. Matter of fact, your family has strong personality. So how do you navigate that in a time where she can go to school and get ain't no telling what them kids are saying?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no
Mm-hmm.
telling what them kids been experienced too. You and your wife wanted to give your children better experiences and better educational opportunities. So you guys are looking at all types of opportunities to put her in situations that typically people who come from our background may not be able to experience, which
True.
also opens them up to different things that they may not have experienced because
True.
of the privilege that those people have. That makes
True.
sense?
True.
And so, how do you navigate that? Because we know we don't control anything. And we
We
would,
don't.
and all we could do create parameters around them, and hopefully they help. But talk to me. How do you navigate that, bro? How do you and your wife navigate that?
So for us, even from when Harley was born, like we never talked baby talk to her, right?
Wow.
I've
Right.
always had like real conversations with my daughter, and I know, for the listeners and the viewers that's gonna hear this part, they probably wouldn't agree, but you raise your children how you raise yours, and I'll do mine how I do mine. But I mean, like I even I even cuss at my daughter. You know what I'm saying? And like
He does.
we have like real life conversations, and she's only 8, but it is to prepare her for the rigidness of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like when you go
Right.
into the world, like it's not all sunshines and rainbows. And then like some stuff I allow her to navigate on her own, just just in friendships and just failures and successes. And I'm definitely always championing her on telling her she can do anything she puts her mind to. And then I don't set limits for her, but I help her realize her limitations. Like, you're more than likely you're not going to be 6 feet tall, so playing basketball is not, an option for you, but you'll be this size. More than likely you'll be this size, so you can start looking into things. And then I also allow her to express her creative side, so that when she is faced with some trials and tribulations, or different opportunities from other people, then she can come and talk to me, because she knows that she's free to express to me, and I'll do my best to always give her the best advice that I can.
Right. Right. For sure. For sure. So, and then going with that, she was a preemie, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she was a preemie. So you guys had to really, work hard to make sure that she develop in that stage to, because she's a little short adult. That's what she is.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
oh my God, man, y'all don't understand. But
For sure.
because I think part of her personality comes from just her personally persevering through that
Yes.
little moment in life. And you and your wife really, really, really had a time. So talk to me, man, because relationships today, church, we
Mhm.
talk about this all the
Time.
time, bro.
All the time.
We talk about this all the time, and me and you, we hope it's romantic in our heart, but sometimes we be like, man, F these, woo woo dee woo, it just,
You know. You
So
know.
talk to me, man, a little bit about how you seeing the dating scene out here, relationships, bro. Like, you made it to 11 years.
Yeah.
I was previously married for 18 years before. I am married now again, thank the Most High. But talk to me now about that, bro. Like, jeez, one of the things you talk to me about marriage and relationships and how you see it.
Uh, Man. As I get older, I realize the work that is put into relationships.
Hmm.
Me and my wife, and I'll be transparent here. Me and my wife just had a little spat just Friday. Uh, I'm kind of a person, like, I'm not, I don't really like conflict.
Yeah.
Uh, but she's not the kind of person that allows me to back down from it. So if she
Okay.
has something on her mind, she gonna speak it to me no matter how upset I get. Right?
Hmm.
And I'm sure some days she like, I don't feel like arguing with this dude, so I'm just gonna let him alone. But like, for the most part, if it's something that's really on her heart, she gonna press the issue. So in today's time, man, it's too many people from what I see from over here, just social media, whatever. But it's too many people just looking for things or for help instead of like the real work that goes into a relationship. Because
Mm,
you know what I'm saying, like in relationships, man, it's times where you won't see those material things. You won't see that happiness and that joy, man. It's like you lightweight for real, you really be resenting the person you with, for a number of reasons, and I've had that experience. You know what I mean? Like me and my
right.
wife have been through some things in our relationship, and I remember at one point in time I found myself resenting my wife for two or three different reasons. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? But we did some talking and we got a little bit of counseling and. We came up with that idea and then we worked through that, and then
Right.
it's not easy on this side because she's changed from who she was when I asked her to marry me, and I've changed from who I was when I asked her to marry me.
Uh-huh.
And I guess
So
then go ahead.
how important it is, because I'm hearing so many things that come out of this, and these are some things, and I hope you guys are listening to these, because it just pops out to me when you say that you have some spats, but
Yeah,
she keeps you accountable. Like instead of backing up and letting it go, even though she knows you're gonna get a reaction, but she still keeps you accountable instead of leaving it in her heart. That makes sense.
yes,
And then something else you said I thought was dope, and people don't really realize is that when you're having those difficult times and you're going through it, that you're like, okay, I gotta go here, I gotta work.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, we live in a time where everything is transactional.
yes,
I do it to get something.
yes,
So
yeah.
let me tell you something. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that unconditional love is possible in a marriage?
Ooh, I believe so. No, you know what?
Mm.
I believe that all love comes with some kind of condition.
Okay, let's talk a little bit. So,
Okay.
what you mean? Like, talk to me. So you believe all love comes with some kind of condition? Now, give me that.
Uh, Under the conditions that you've either done something to make me love you, or you have to continuously do something to keep my love for you. You know what I'm saying? And it's and what I mean by that is not necessarily like material gains or anything like that, but uh
Right?
we all give and take something. So it could just be the way I spark your interest in, or spark your interest in things, or spark your interest in yourself. It's like the way that I love on you. And it's like under that condition is what made you love me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. But see, now let me challenge a little bit. Well,
Okay.
let me ask you a question. It's not a challenge, but it's more of a question, more of something, a thought provoking thing. You said something I thought was dope too, that your wife has grown and you have grown. How important it is, because you know my philosophy on keeping a relationship. I do date nights every Friday. It never changes,
Yes, sir.
right? That's
Yes, sir.
something I've implemented from our first situation to my current marriage. The fact that I intentionally make sure I spend time with her because she's always growing, changing every week is a way to check in. It's also a way to connect after a long week. So talk to me because so your wife has obviously changed, and so
Yes.
have you. How have you guys stayed connected in those moments where changes happen? And have you had moments where you missed the change? You're like, who is this lady? Talk to me.
Yeah, the way I would say that the way that we connect is because like so me and my wife had a kind of relationship where we like literally call each other all day long. Now we don't, even if it's for 2 minutes just to make a statement or ask for advice, or it could be something about the house. But with that it's the constant connection. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Hmm.
of course you miss some changes because it happens so abruptly that even the person who's changing don't even recognize the change. You be like, oh wow,
right,
you know what I'm saying?
right,
So
right, right.
I think we stay connected through day to day action. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
and then like I've always had this thing with me and my wife, and even now with my daughter, with my family, I don't tell them no. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So like on those times when she want to go on trips, or even when she need a break from us and just to herself, or my daughter done ran her crazy, because again, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, she has such a strong personality. She can run anybody crazy. But you know
Yeah.
uh just being there for her whenever she need me to be, like and just pretty much giving her whatever she asked me for, is and then again, a very key thing is just that day-to-day communication. you
Yeah.
know uh we don't go on weekly dates, but we do Tuesday night dinner
Right.
at our house. It was Wednesdays, but Harley does gymnastic on Wednesdays, and it keeps her out too late, so it keeps her awake too late. So on Thursdays she's cranky or whatever. But now we changed it to Tuesday night dinner, and then on Sundays I normally spend like most of the morning into the early afternoon just in the house, even if it's just sleep. You know what I'm saying? Just having that
Yeah. Yeah.
presence around, or any drop off or breakfast or brunch, or you know what I'm saying, putting something together for her, or for my wife, or for my daughter, and just doing manly stuff around the house sometimes. So the day to day interactions keep us connected for sure.
Dope. 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 Anything you think about from your past, and you saying to yourself, "Man, if I could do it over again, I wouldn't do that." It's like if I could do it over again. Oh, let me frame it this way. Let me frame it. If you could do it over again, would you change something?
If I could do it over again, would I change something? Absolutely.
What's that?
Uh, it would be it would be my people pleasing. I would have
So
definitely.
here goes some level of self awareness, bro. Like,
Yeah.
people don't like doing this. Like they don't like, and this is what I tell people about accountability and about growth for yourself. When
Hmm.
you get to the point in your life where you can pinpoint your own dysfunction and say, "That's an issue with me, and I'm addressing it." Like that's where your life changes. But go ahead, bro. Talk self. When you said self, please come on, man. Talk to me, bro.
So when I was younger, uh, so I grew up in a house with my mom and my dad. When I
Right,
was younger, my mother, and my father did the absolute best that they could, and I didn't understand that until I got older. But that's not what this is about. So my father, you know how you could just sometimes say things to your kids, right? And you
mm,
don't mean it, but you don't know the impact that it has on your child. So my
right,
father would always be like, "Man, sit your monkey looking ass down." You know what I'm saying?
right,
So I didn't realize until I was older how much of an effect that had on my self esteem.
mm,
So I would always feel like in some way, some shape or form, I was ugly. So I would find ways to uh, please people in order to get them to gravitate to me because I felt like I was ugly.
right,
But once I came into my own confidence as a man, and as uh, a person who believes that they are handsome, or a person who believes that they are worthy, because uh, it's not just looks, but it also affects like your self worth too. You begin
yeah,
to
for
feel like
real,
you worth less, right?
for sure,
But once I began to come into that, man, it's like I realized that people pleasing allows people to walk all over you, and you don't stand up for yourself, and you
right,
tend to give more than you should in any situation, and you tend to go without for so long in any situation because you're too busy trying to make sure the other person is happy. So
right,
I
right,
I forfeited a lot of my own happiness in my earlier years, and then even some of the successes that I could have attained, just being more confident.
yeah.
Uh, but I gave away a lot of that in my earlier years, just trying to make sure that the people around me, or the people that I were attached to, in any capacity, were happy, and I wasn't really worrying about mine.
So when did you get that confidence? When did you realize that what was being said of you to you, even if it was a projection, even if it was just something that our parents? Because I was talking to another guest recently, and we was talking about how that our parents did the best they could with the information they had.
Yes, sir.
it's our job to take it further.
Yes, sir.
We know that, especially as an adult, because you realize now as a parent, oh my God, they
Yeah.
didn't know, they didn't know what they was doing. I don't know what I'm doing, and they didn't have nowhere near the information that I have
Nowhere
about
near.
life, right?
Yeah.
So, oh
Yeah.
my God, right? And so, for me, it was a bit of a healing for me to be able to forgive my parents because I realized that I was judging them from a child's perspective. But as an adult, I now understand that they were doing the best they could with what they didn't know nothing about trauma and psychological stuff and all this the food and my parents are crazy. Like my mother and my father, I love them to life, but they're nuts. All right,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna project anymore. So I got that healing to be able to be the father that I could be. How does that like? When did you say to yourself, man, my father's tripping, but I am really handsome. I am a dude that got something to offer. When did you really deal with that insecurity? Like when did it click for you?
I think it started when I was 26 years old. I realized that my father did the best that he could with what he had, but it wasn't until I'm 40 now, but it wasn't until I was like maybe like 34 or 35 years old where it was just kind of like, oh no, like oh no, like I'm lit, as the young kids would say. Like I am lit.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I began to recognize like some of my better qualities. I would always see glimpses of them, but I wasn't so sure. But it's like now it's like those qualities that I recognize about myself are like the pillars and the bricks to my foundation. It's like I know who I am. Like
right,
you can't come in and tell me what I am not because I know what I am.
right,
You know
right,
what I'm
right.
saying? Like you.
So
So
so so did your father really set you up to become the man you needed to become? Because I say this all the time: a young man has to buck up against his father's ideology
yes,
to become a man.
yes,
You have to have your own.
yes, sir.
And sometimes, like my dad says some stuff like real mean stuff to me in the heated moments in games. I'm playing on the court. He's screaming on the court stuff that you ain't supposed to say to your child, to your son,
Hmm.
especially your son. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? But it taught me to be able to deal with some mental, stuff in the heat of the moment and be able to get through it. Like that, your father saying that, then that 34. This is when you saying, no, bro, I'm a man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this the man I am. Hold on, like be able to shed that outer shell of your childhood.
Yeah.
Like how was that? Like because I remember like all of a sudden stuff just started coming to you.
Yeah, yeah. Because like I said, the lack of confidence, it stifles your creativity. It
Yeah,
stifles your ability to think for yourself. It stifles so much stuff. It's just not always about believing that you're pretty as a young lady or handsome as a young man. Like it can ruin so many different things. But uh I think I know that my father is extremely instrumental in the young man that I became today. Because one thing that my father, I mean, he showed me so many different things, and some of
yeah,
the stuff he did intentionally. He showed me intentionally, and some of the stuff I just picked up on my own as I grew. But
yeah,
one of the main things that my father showed me was how important provision was. Because
yeah.
although him and my mom weren't like in a super financially free situation, but he always went to work and got his check. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah,
Like no matter how no and no knock to him for his consumption of alcohol at the time, because I dibble and dabble myself from time to time. But
yeah, yeah,
no matter how drunk he was the night before, no matter what he did the night before, my father got up and went to work. You
yeah.
know what I'm
My
saying?
dad too. My dad too. Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean that instilled that hard work in me, and I'm that way now to this day. Like I'm going to
hustler.
work, bruh.
Yeah, you're a hustler, bro.
I'm going to work. I'm going to
Yeah,
work. So
yeah,
I mean that was instrumental, man. And then like my father right now, he just finished his last round of chemo. He was stage 4 prostate cancer, They told him that they couldn't cure it, but they can, just kind of like slow it down or whatever.
Yeah.
And just I didn't know he had in him what he had in him until I saw him and he was like, "I'm gonna do what the doctor say."
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because he could have easily been like, "No, I'm cool. I'm 77 years old. I'm too far gone. I'm gonna go ahead and just let it kill me." But he was like, I'm gonna do what I gotta do." And that was a time where I got a chance to see like, oh, this dude really made it something. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, this
Yeah.
guy's really made it something. So I'm proud of him for even taking those steps and making those strides forward, man. And that's something that I can add to my tool belt. Just seeing my dad just really,
You hear that, Butch? You better act like you better
yeah,
act like
yeah.
your son giving you flowers. And speaking of
Oh man.
flowers, let me do this real quick, bro.
Okay.
Let me do this real quick. Cause there was a side, another side of you. I keep telling you, like people don't understand. Let me give you your flowers. Let me tell you what this brother, who is from the hood, who may not have been in some of the best environments growing up, who made some some decisions in life, uh, who worked through some things, who let me give this to a nonprofit. One nonprofit he has is him and my cousin. Do this what's the name of it?
Bike ride for hunger.
Bike Ride for Hunger. And we've been doing this for the last how many years?
Man, I think we're almost up to 15 this year, right? I
Like,
think it's 15
listen,
this year.
bro, this dude, Bike Ride for Hunger, he got other things. We just got through doing something for men with his little cousin that was specifically done. It's called Shop Talk to really talk
Yes.
about empowering men. His brother got other stuff that he does. He was just doing something in the community. What was the other thing you just did?
The CAP program, the Cleveland African American Prostate Program, where we do screenings for prostate. And the crazy part about it is, we do screenings for prostate cancer. They do what's called a PSA, protein specific antigen, where they take your blood, check your levels, and you keep getting them checked every year. I was a part of that program before I found out that my father had the prostate cancer.
You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
this dude is this what he does. He's always been this way. He's always been trying to impact and help and change people's lives. He's been a part of my community when we started our church. And
yes,
we talk about mobbing through the neighborhoods and really trying to impact people. A lot of people have been impacted because of his influence. Really,
mm,
I spoke the words, but he brought it to me. So, but this dude, like, I want to give you your flowers, bro. You
thank you,
don't know
brother.
how important and how impactful you've been to so many people around you, from your family. I've watched you been leading your family from the older ones to the younger ones to the ones coming up, like your nephew's kids look to you, bro. And I just want you to know that you really, I see you. I hope everybody else see you.
Thank you.
But you are an incredible young man, and I need to let you know that, bro. Before we get off this conversation, it's been an incredible conversation. I can't wait
Thank
to
you.
have part two because we're gonna keep going deeper and talk
Yes,
some
sir.
about these issues in the world. But Lee, if anybody was listening to this and you wanted to talk about your legacy, like, and you say if there's no other podcast you ever be on, and you're gonna be on plenty of them, bro. Trust me. But and somebody go back and look into the archives of Leonard Church.
Hmm.
What do you want them to hear from you for the conversation to help people that go going through a process that's been looking at outcomes, been chasing after goals, been trying to be like these people when everybody's outcome is different. Everybody's relationship is different. Every person is different. You might get to the money, but it ain't gonna be the same money. Nobody
Yeah,
gets the same money. You
yeah.
might get to the big house, it ain't gonna be the same big house. It's always different. And so,
Okay.
but the process, we all gotta go through it. Talk to us about, if you could leave somebody with some nuggets to get them through, what would it be?
Oh man. Find your purpose first.
Mm,
Find and your purpose normally lies in what you absolutely love to do. It's the stuff that you get lost in when you do it, and it's like time goes by, but you don't even realize so much time has went by.
mm,
Uh,
mm,
Find a way to monetize what your purpose is,
mm.
so that way you can. I mean, because we need money in order to live,
It's the way
and
it
then
is.
That's the way that it is. And then once you get into your purpose, because it's not going to be easy, just because you love to do it don't mean it's going to be easy to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
But stick to it, man, even in those hard times when you feel like giving up, because it's been plenty of days I would have gave up. But it was something there just telling me to stick to it, man. So find your purpose, find a way to make money from it, and when the times get hard, just stick to it. Find you a team of people that believe in you
Mm-hmm.
and have that faith in yourself, and get a good connection with whatever you believe in, whoever you believe in, get a good connection there, and stick to your dreams and your goals, and don't let nobody stop you.
Let me ask you another question. Let's go a little deeper because we know stick to itness. That's great. You know, your dreams on the right stop you. That's great, but there are going to be people who are going to try to stop you,
Absolutely.
including yourself.
Absolutely.
So for you, like, give me something deeper. Like when I'm in the trenches, I'm like, I don't want to do this no more. I'm ready to give up. Give them something that they can say, I can put this in there and I can just push this button. It may not get me all the way to the top, but it's gonna keep me moving forward. Give me something deeper, bro. Something that I know you got. I know you said some stuff. Give them something.
hmm I would say, like, so when I talk to people about, like, I use car insurance and the faith, and faith in the Most High, or Jehovah or Allah, whatever you wish to call the creator of all things. I say that if you believe and then you die and then there is no heaven, like, what did you lose by believing, right?
Mm,
So, or if you know, I look
mm,
at it like car insurance is like, if you don't get into a car accident, car insurance is a ripoff. But if
right.
you do get into a car accident and you got car insurance, it's there for you.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you lose by having either faith in the Most High or having, car insurance? So it's like, when I look at stuff, when I'm looking at an opportunity, or I'm looking at something that I wanna I wanna engage in. It's like, if I do it and I fail, like, what did I lose? All I
Mm,
gained was, like, knowledge, and I took an opportunity, and I also built confidence within myself. Just giving things a shot and going for something that I wanted. Like, you don't lose
oh,
anything. You don't lose
man,
anything.
you just said something crazy, bro.
Talk to him.
This is that conversation we be having, y'all. I'm looking around like people are around me, but listen, it's crazy. But think about it. Failure builds confidence that you can do it again. Because the failure just lets you know that even if I fail, I didn't die. Oh, okay. I tried. I'm all right.
Yes.
Let me do it again.
Yeah.
Wow, bro.
Yeah.
Failure builds confidence that you can do it again. Go ahead and
Yes,
keep
sir.
talking to me, bro. That was powerful because I'm like, wow, but you can't get confidence until you fail, until you know you can do it,
Okay.
until you know you can recover.
Okay.
That's where the confidence comes from. Oh, that
Okay.
did not kill me.
That's true. And one
Wow.
thing, one thing I honestly believe is that failure is more of the is more a part of the process than success is.
Yeah, yeah,
Reason being is because you'll fail far more times than you'll ever succeed.
yeah.
You will
You gotta get over
fail
that part.
far more. Yeah, you gotta get over it.
You gotta get
And
over that
it's
part.
and it's like, at the end of the day, again, man, like the time gonna pass anyway. You might as well try something. You know,
Yeah, you might as
the
well
time
try something.
the time gonna pass anyway. And what if you get it right?
That's what I'm saying. What if this one time you swing and that is the one? That's
That's
the
the home
World
run.
Series. Like this dude been terrible all year. But he got there confident, like man, he confident. They swearing this is the one. Like how did he end up with the one that's gonna be batting at this time to win a World Series? Oh my God, we through. But because you just came up there confident,
Because you never
maybe
gave up.
you never know. Maybe they ego, maybe something. Maybe you just at the right time. It's your time. I
Yes,
was just
sir.
thinking about this other day. I was like, man, if you don't keep going, you'll never know when the time happens.
Nope.
Bro, the conversation has always been amazing. You are an exceptional young man. I appreciate you getting on here. the Other Side podcast, where we focus on the process and not the outcome. Bro, appreciate you on the show, man. We have you on again for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
Looking
man.
forward to it.
Have a great day, bro. I appreciate you, man.
All right, bro. I'll talk to you soon.
No.
All right.